We're going to do it together. We have to unify, put our petty differences aside, who's more powerful, who has the information, and let's work together in lockstep. You, the people, your stories are fascinating, they're real, they're organic, and they're the truth.
Right Now with Ann Vandersteel. Good evening and welcome to Right Now with Ann Vandersteel. It is a cusp of a new year and we've got a new year banging show for you today because we're going to do this journey together. There's a lot happening out there in the world, but you know what? We got to take just a few minutes to talk about ourselves and our health and how we're going to get ourselves stripped down and battle ready for what's coming for 2024. I'm asking you to join me tonight and my guest, Raven Aya, as we launch vandersteelhealth.com. That's right, your gateway to superfoods and a transformation over the next 30 days, 60 if you dare, and 90 if you want to keep going. But you're going to be happy that you did it. You're going to learn a lot. And tonight is all about you. We'll see you right back after this commercial break. The show's tonight is brought to you by vandersteelhealth.com.
I'm excited to announce that we're bringing back our best offer ever on our original My Slippers. You save $90 a pair with your promo code. And now My Slippers come in even more sizes. Smaller sizes, larger sizes, wide sizes, and all new styles and colors. Get them for your friends, your family, your neighbors, everyone you know. What makes My Slippers different is my exclusive 4-layer design that you're not going to find in any other slippers. My Slippers' patented layers make them ultra comfortable, extremely durable, and they help relieve stress on your feet. I'm so confident that you and everyone you know are going to love My Slippers that I'm extending my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2024, making them the best Christmas gifts ever. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen now. Use your promo code to save $90. That's only $49.98 a pair. Quantities won't last long, so please order now.
Many of you have been asking, where am I getting the energy from? Where is the glow coming from? What's changed with your hair and skin? Well, simply in the last month, I started taking a product, C60 Evo. If you go to c60evo.com/Ann Vandersteel, you too can get radiant energy, mental focus with C60 Evo's ESS 60. What is it? That is pure C60. Get that increased flexibility, immunity, and longevity. And guess what, folks? It's not only for people too. You can get some for your pets. My animals are on it now. And that's right, I'm having trouble keeping up with Vegas, my dog, who I like to go on long walks with in the morning. He is battling back on the heat down here with his C60 Evo as well. Go to c60evo.com/Ann Vandersteel and try their delicious oils that you can eat and add into salads or put on your food, and also incredible facial serums and creams that are making a massive difference in the texture and feel of my skin. c60evo.com/Ann Vandersteel. Well, everybody, it's a new year, and that means it's going to be a new you and a new body and a great new fun time. I'm so excited because we are relaunching what I have come to love. It's a daily staple in my life. It's called Superfoods. And joining me today is Raven Aya. She is my Superfoods guru. She's the wonderful woman who introduced me to this product 2 years ago. Raven, I can't believe it's been 2 years and 22 pounds later. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness, it's absolutely my pleasure, Ann. And I'm so excited for you because I know that you are such a beacon of light for so many people. They're all looking to you because you are taking the charge and taking the lead. And what a better way than for us to have this amazing conversation today. So I'm so thrilled to be here with you.
Well, you know what? I'm thrilled that you're here because you have held my hand through this process every step of the way. And it was because of you that I, really adopted superfoods into my life. I always thought these things were gimmicks and hoax and, oh, come on. I've heard you are what you eat as I was a kid growing up, but somehow you always drove through McDonald's. So, COVID was horrendous and a lot of us packed on weight. And I didn't realize that the stress eating during COVID was what was really causing the problem. And I wasn't eating the right things. I was getting really inflamed, and I was, seeing strange things happen to my body, and my skin wasn't so great. I'm like, what is all of this going on? It just must be stress. And,
Yeah.
getting on superfoods was a game changer for me. And I'm so grateful. And I know that we, introduced it several years ago, but it's time to bring it back because I feel like America is at this precipice right now, and we've got to be battle ready. We're going to go through a really tough time, and we're going to see food shortages, and we're already seeing that happen. And let's face it, they've been poisoning us every which way they possibly can, the air, the food, the water. This is the golden egg. And when it comes to made in America and, get your body healthy. So I want to reshare this again in a big way with my audience because everybody deserves to, get rid of the COVID weight, get battle ready, and also protect their family for what's coming. Put some shelf stable food in their cabinets that's there for the rainy day, and the rainy day and the storm is here. So let's get everybody up to speed on what superfoods are all about. You're the guru. Start.
Superfoods. Well, for those of you that have not met me yet, aloha, it's nice to meet you. I've been farming organically in Hawaii for over 25 years. I'm an herbalist. I've studied Hawaiian la'au lapa'au, so I've been very connected to plants for a very long time. And through my studies, through plants and nutrition and culinary skills, what I really found is that most people just don't have access. They don't have access to buy the best of what's available, because if they did, they probably would. But unfortunately, in our country, most people are living in a food desert. That there is literally fake food that you are consuming that is going into your stomach and it's filling your stomach, but there's no nutritional content. Even fresh fruits and vegetables have been harvested months ago before they ever even get to your grocery store. And there's this big split between being able to walk out your front door like we used to do in the days of homesteading, which was the American dream, and be able to harvest the food from your yard or from your farm or whatever it happens to be, and drink the water from beneath your feet. This was the American dream, but it's been so capitalized and so commercialized to where most people are taking, $5 to $10 and walking into whatever convenience store they find and just grabbing something and going, and not really thinking about the repercussions of these toxins as they accumulate in your body, which leads to a whole slew of autoimmune conditions. Many people struggle with IBS and digestive issues. We've seen a rampant case of leaky gut. And there are so many other symptoms out there that people are experiencing. And maybe when they go to the physician, they're not necessarily being told what's wrong with them. They're just like, oh,
Right.
here, let's just give you a Band-Aid to mask whatever that symptom is. Well, what we do with Superfoods is we help to reverse the damage. We help to repair what has happened inside of your gut and your digestive system. We help to remove toxins and to really restore the body to balance. And that's what I love about this 30-day program so much, is that it works for everybody. No matter where you're at, if you're obese, if you're underweight, if you've been struggling for decades, just by starting to add these superfoods into your diet, you're going to start to see change. And the more consistent you are, the greater the change in the shorter amount of time. So I'm thrilled to be relaunching this 30-day program. New Year's is always the best time of year to really make some big changes. And I think we've all been pretty stuck. I think there's been a lot of muck keeping us stuck. And obviously, Anne, you and I know that most of that is on purpose. So we're really here to provide solutions at a very affordable price to really change your life very quickly. So I can't wait to talk more about what we have to offer.
Yeah, and that's just it. I have always been very solutions focused. And, every time you turn on the news, it's more bad news. Congress isn't doing this, but the globalists are doing that. And we're learning about every single which way they're trying to kill us. As I said, air, water, food has been polluted. You made a great case for it. And one of the things that I really, took out and took away from the superfoods and that really benefited my body, besides the weight loss, was the reduction in inflammation. You look at people, and I've been saying this for some time. We didn't have a pandemic of coronavirus in this country. That was a complete manufactured hoax. Yeah, there was definitely a bioweapon launched in the air. Dr. Artis broke that down very cleanly, what it all is. And of course,
Mm.
we know about the bioweapon and the jabs. They put in 5.5 billion arms. But we have really a pandemic of obesity in this country and apathy. And our food is so toxic. So people are trying to lose weight and they're trying to make good choices, but even the choices they're making are all wrong
Mhm.
because it's inflammatory. The food is causing mass inflammation. And a lot of the obesity with people really is mostly inflammation. If they could get the inflammation under control,
Yep.
their skin would improve, their hair would improve, and their bellies would flatten. And
Mm.
the stuff that with the superfoods is so healthy, nutritious, and has roots and probiotics. But the biomedic, which
Mhm.
attack the glyphosate problem that we have, that
Mhm.
stuff they dust your crops with to get rid of all of the weeds, the glyphosate, that is so toxic and it's carcinogenic, but it also destroys your gut biome, which is what
Yeah.
causes that bloating. And honestly, Raven, when you talked to me about biomedic, I was like, okay. And then I read the studies and I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
I sold pharmaceuticals a long time ago. I know how to read a study, 76% reduction in glyphosate. That product alone was so beneficial to just getting my stomach flat. Look, I was never obese, but 22 pounds is 22 pounds, and if it's
Yeah.
22 or 222, you don't have to carry it anymore. And so this is what I
Mm.
was really excited about and the benefits for me that I could go back to all the clothes I used to wear. And frankly, people are like, did you get work done? Because you look younger. Well, when you lose weight, you tend to look a little bit younger. So all these things have been really beneficial. But on top of all that, it's the energy and it's the clarity, it's the state of mind, and it's the positive mental attitude. When you get your
Mhm.
weight back under control, you kind of feel invincible and you don't care what people throw at you. It doesn't matter. There's a
Yeah.
great t-shirt. I may be fat, but you're ugly and I can lose weight. Well, with superfoods, you can certainly make that dream come true. So
That's so funny. I love that because it's like people want to ask you if you got work done and you're like, "No, I did the work." And
I
I
did the
think
work.
that's the piece that people need to understand is that at any point you can make a decision that you want to change the course of your life. And when you
Yeah.
make that decision, usually, if you are a prayerful person, that arrives to you when you are ready, right? The messenger arrives when you are ready to receive the information. And I think most people haven't really felt ready because they don't really know where to turn and they haven't really figured it out. They think they have to, like, go hire a personal trainer and hire a nutritionist and they've got to get off of 16 medications. And it's very, very complicated for most people to be able to make great change. And that's why we send you a box that arrives on your doorstep and it has a complete 30-day program in it with a schedule, with everything that you need to completely change your life. But are you going to do the work? And that's the piece that I think most people have to accept the responsibility. If you want
Yeah.
more for your life, then you have to take responsibility to make great change. But to make great change very quickly, you need the right tools. And so we're here to provide you with protein, fruits, vegetables, gut health to remove glyphosate, repair your gut microbiome, which is your second brain. It's where the majority of your hormones are produced and your immune function. So having a healthy gut is more important than anything else. It's more important than what you're going out and trying to be healthy with, because if there's damage to your gut microbiome, which happens from exposure to glyphosate, you actually won't absorb nutrition. So you could be juicing all day long, but if your gut lining is destroyed, you're literally just washing it straight through you because your body's not able to absorb nutrition. And if you are in a place of toxicity, what happens is that the body starts to actually shut down. Certain functions stop working properly, or your body will actually store toxins in your adipose fat. So it can go both ways. I've seen people who are struggling with their health that are very underweight. They can't put muscle on. They have a lot of trouble finding foods that they can consume that doesn't actually hurt their body. And I work with people on the far other spectrum that need to lose, more than 100 pounds. And this system works synergistically with you and where you're at and your consistency in showing up and just making sure you're doing it every single day for these 30 days, which we're doing 30, 60, and a 90-day run for people who are really concerned about getting straight and getting their health in place so that they can really be strong for what's coming. I mean, we are going into probably the most intense year in America ever. And
Yeah.
so if we're not strong and we're not thinking clearly and we're not feeling brave and we're not healthy, this is going to be way more complicated. So Anna and I really decided that we wanted to come together and we wanted to provide this system for everybody because we know it works and because we know that this is really the time. You know, there's no more room for excuses, really. Yeah, so I'd love for you to add on that because I know you've got another direction you want to go from there.
Well, here's the thing. I've been telling everybody, and a lot of my media colleagues have been telling everybody, 2024 is going to be the year, and we're going to see everything and the kitchen sink thrown at us because they just simply can't have President Trump on the ballot. They can't have him elected. They don't want him anywhere near fixing the criminal cabal. They know that they're caught. And we are going to unfortunately be we're going to be the cannon fodder for these demons that don't want President Trump being elected. So they're going to take everything they have and throw it at us, including potential power losses, grid down, communications. Clearly, they've been poisoning the air and the food for a long time. I mean, they've been putting fluoride in the water to dumb us down. They've injected us with bioweapons and toxins. And the thing about superfoods is it can help you detoxify. For instance, the fulvic zeolite. I've used that product several times, about twice a year. I do a zeolite detox, and that helps with the heavy metals. And I find that highly, highly, highly beneficial to getting brain function back because let's face it, we have all been so poisoned. They found ways to cross the blood-brain barrier and get this stuff up. Our pineal gland has been completely calcified. We have been suppressed. Our ability to actually think and have, communications, outside of just verbal, right? Being able to non-verbally communicate has been so suppressed. There's so much to the human body that superfoods can help build that back and strip away the poison. But again, like you said, we have to make a conscious choice. And, Raven, you know how much I travel. Right.
Yep.
I have traveled every week for years, all over the country, either speaking or going to engagements or protesting or whatever. The only food I eat when I travel is superfoods. I take it, I throw my shaker bottle in the luggage. I bring a bag of superfoods with me and some of the supplements that I take, my aminos, etc. And that's it. That's how I live when I'm on the road because I simply don't trust definitely, food on the side of the highway. It's food out of a truck somewhere, and I just don't want to spend $100 for a steak. So I eat very, very inexpensively when I'm on the road. I have hyper energy. I'm like ready to rock and roll every day, and I don't have the fear of I've got to go find something to eat because I always have it with me, and that in of itself is such a it's like serenity because when you're in a world where it's crazy like the business I'm in. You just have to know that you're not going to go to bed hungry. And that is critical for me to being able to function is to have the nutrients I need whenever I want it. It's easy and I'm one and done and I'm out. As opposed to worrying about, can I eat this? Looking at the menu, does it have glyphosate? I don't have to think about it. I have my food. So
and it wasn't like that for you prior, like before you had superfoods. Like, what were you struggling with the most prior to meeting me and getting on the schedule?
Oh gosh, unfortunately, my eating went off the rails. You start by eating bread, then the next thing you want more sugar, so then you're having desserts, and then you're having cookies, and it just went off the rails. I wasn't eating healthy, and it was just one thing led to another. Because whenever you start eating sugar, your body starts to crave it because that becomes the quick energy source. And one of the things that superfoods did for me was because it has a sweet flavor to it. It took care of that sugar craving. But then it got rid of the sugar cravings. And after 1 month of doing superfoods, my body's desire to go eat a bunch of bread or cookies or sweets, ice cream, no, I don't even buy that stuff anymore because I don't even think about it. It's like just completely out of and it wasn't a conscious decision. It just happened. The other thing too, I found really amazing. And I remember talking about this with you early on was the caffeine. I would have to make a second pot of coffee about 2:00 in the afternoon for a 9:00 show just to power me through the second half of the day. No, I have one, maybe 2 cups in the morning if I'm lingering longer on the sofa with my husband at 4 or 5 or 6 in the morning. But I just like the 1 cup of coffee. It's ritualistic, talk to my honey, kind of talk
Same.
about the day, and then go on. I don't live on coffee. I don't live on, things that are trying to, keep my energy up, because the superfoods keep my energy up. I mean, look at me now. I just had a shake, 3 hours ago, and I'm still like, woo, ready to go. So
Yep, I've just been running on mushroom coffee and aminos today, and still ready to go. I mean, we have another show right after this, and that's the piece that I think people don't understand, is that when you're kind of like in a loop and you've been in that loop for a long time, getting out of it is always the hardest part, is just to start. And that's where what I love about this program is, when you start, you're just starting to add in. We're not telling you can't have coffee. We're not saying you can't have a drink after work or go and grab pizza with the boys, or
right.
whatever your thing is. We're not saying we're taking away your thing. What we're saying is that if you just start adding this in, and you start feeling better, and the inflammation starts to go down, and the cravings start to curb, you'll actually start leaning more into superfoods than where you were kind of in this repetition. And the more you lean into it, the more you're going to start to see the unraveling happen, right? Your skin will start to glow. You're going to start to lose some inflammation and weight. You're going to start sleeping deeper through the night. You're going to have more energy. You're going to have less cravings. And the more you lean into it, the more that happens. So we start with a really simple integration in the first 10 days. And then if you want to do, we have an accelerated cleanse portion of the program, which I do at least 4 times a year. Mainly because I live in Hawaii, and we do eat raw fish, and we do eat meat, and we do live on a farm. So doing an anti-parasitic cleanse is really important to do seasonally.
Yeah.
If you've never done a parasite cleanse, even more important, like, please take to heart and understand that
Can you
all
talk
you got to
about
do is,
that?
yeah,
Can
I
we
would love
can you
to.
break down a parasite cleanse a little bit? Because I think
Mhm,
people, having learned a lot about COVID, are concerned about parasites. I mean, they've been taking,
mhm,
a lot of people are taking HCQ or Fenbin or ivermectin, which are all antiparasitics. But I'd
mhm.
like to break that down, because I think people are learning now that parasites are really much more invasive, and they're frankly behind a lot of the cancer that's out there. So this is another avenue for people to rid their bodies of toxins that could potentially be carcinogenic, and they don't even know it.
Absolutely. Brain fog is huge. If you have any kind of brain fog or confusion, actually, I would love if we could pull up a slide. Maybe you could go to Google and you could just type in symptoms of parasites. And if you could actually pull that slide up, I think it would be a great reference, because
Okay.
many people may be experiencing specific symptoms and may not know what it is. And maybe you've never done a parasite cleanse before in your life. And this is integrated into our 30-day program. And so you can choose to do an accelerated cleanse, which I love doing, because by the time you get to day 11, you're really ready to accelerate. You're ready for more. You're like, oh, okay, I've got a little glimmer of what feeling better feels like. So now let's go ahead and let's go for it. So here's just a couple of the symptoms. And I'm sure that the majority of your viewers have probably felt something along in one of these categories at some point in time. And so the way that we do our parasite cleanse is that you're just integrating 2 additional supplements on the 10-day program that's in the middle of the 30-day. So from day 11 to day 21, you're going to be integrating a supplement. It's a very gentle, very potent herbal-based blend that is specifically formulated to coax any of your unwanted travelers out of your body and to remove them. And obviously, you guys know there's only one way out. So we are going to do that from days 11 to days 21. Now, what I always suggest for people who have maybe never done it before is that by the time you get to day 21, 22, you're going to pretty much look and feel like a different person. You are
Yeah.
going to be like, wow, I can't even believe I was over there just a short amount of time ago. And usually what happens is people say, I want to keep going. I'm ready to see what comes next. And
Yeah.
so our 30-day program, you can do on repeat. And so for January, February, and March, we're going to be doing a 30-day program. 30-day program, a 30-day program. In the middle of each one of those is going to be this cleanse portion. And the reason why we want you to repeat it the next month is just in case we missed anybody, just in case there was a hatch in between the time of removing parasites to the time when you are getting back onto the next program. And so that is a very thorough way to rid your body of parasites very gently. You're not trying to like come up with some kind of concoction from all these other different places and mixing a bunch of things together, which I never recommend. I really hope everybody's really careful about that, because anytime you take any specific chemical and you mix it with another chemical, then you're creating a new chemical and you are kind of just creating a cocktail of who knows what. Versus when you're really leaning into a superfoods program like what we have developed, we've had millions and millions of people use this program. Here's the craziest part is this 30-day program has a 60-day money back guarantee. So if you run your 30-day program and you're just like, meh, it didn't work for me, pack it up, send it back, get your money back. I don't know any other food company in the world that offers that. And here's another thing with tens of thousands of people in my organization.
Actually, I want to actually, I'll buy your superfoods from you if you don't want them, because I covet them that much. I'm stockpiling right now.
No, she's not going to do that. She's not going to do that. You can return it to the company and get your money back. But here's the thing with the program. With tens of thousands of people that I work with, I can't remember the last time I had a return. And that's because our program works. And I wish we had some before and after photos queued up. Actually, it might be possible to grab, there's a little video of some before and after photos in our transformation group, which everyone is welcome to join. I actually host an online Facebook group, which you're welcome to join. There's about 1,600 folks in there right now who are all gearing up for a New Year's transformation. And you can have a private conversation. You can ask questions. You can really get into the depths, but you can also read the stories, because the stories is really the most inspiring piece. And why I continue to be a voice for this company is because I've seen so many people completely change their life in such a short amount of time. And I know that happened for you and many of the people that you've introduced me to. We've seen, the average person be able to let go of 20 to 30 pounds and also build muscle. So you're not muscle wasting along the way, which can happen if you're doing something like a master cleanse, which I personally don't recommend at all. Like, I don't see any reason why to be flushing your body with sugar and acid. We're going to do this in a completely different way. We're going to nourish you to a point that maybe you've never experienced before in your life. And I think most people are starving, especially my generation. A lot of us were raised on formula. And this was the very beginning of introducing glyphosate into the American Industrial Agricultural Program. So pretty much anybody that's in, 40 and up, like I will say, no, let me say 45 and down, you guys have been exposed to glyphosate. It's pretty much unavoidable. It's in almost 90% of the US food supply at this point. So we've all been exposed. You can't see it. It's an invisible ingredient. They don't have to label it. And it's sprayed all over our schools, our parks, businesses. It's just rampant. And so the exposure is a fact. And so if we're just focusing on detoxifying glyphosate, which is a cancer-causing agent, it's proven to be a carcinogen, then this will handle that. But the beautiful thing about it is that we're taking care of a whole lot of things all at once. This is bringing your body into homeostasis. This is helping you to let go of the toxins, flush out the body. And we have so many additional pieces that if you want to take up a notch, you want to add some specific things, then we have a whole list that covers each one of these different refinements that you can add into there. So if you're an athlete and you need more cardio and mobility, great, you can add some of that stuff. If you are just really struggling with your hormones and your mood and your focus, there's a couple things that you can add there. If you want to just go straight for immunity, we have pretty much the apothecary, and everything that we grow has a 10-point purity standard. So our farms to our facility exceeds US organic standards. You will never find a binder, a filler, a color, a heavy metal, any kind of toxicity, no GMOs, no glyphosate in any one of our ingredients. Right. And that is how I can get behind this. As an organic farmer, it's really important to me that if I'm going to represent something, that it has to meet my standards. And this company really exceeds my standards. And I think, Anne, you were able to experience that as well.
100%. And, to your point, you are such a purist. You and I have talked about this from time to time, and we've looked at other things. I know you look at other things all the time because you're like, well,
Yeah.
maybe there's something better. Maybe there's something better. And just the other day, you and I were on the phone having a conversation that no matter what you've tried or where you've looked, you've never been able to find anything better than this company. And this company's been around, what, 25 years more?
Almost 30 years. For
That's what
almost
I
30
thought. It was
years.
almost 30 years. So, I mean, when you're doing organic farming at this level, and I visited their factory, I was so excited about the products and about the transformation I experienced. I went to California and I went to meet in the corporate headquarters and just see what this whole operation was about. And I was blown away, at the cleanliness of it, the friendliness of
Mhm.
it, but just the fact that it was a full scale operation providing nutrients at a level that you're not getting anywhere. You're not getting this even when you go to the finest establishments, the level of nutrients that you're getting from just one of these shakes. I mean, it's as if you're eating 5 seriously packed protein based salads in one
Yeah.
shaker bottle. And you really aren't hungry for hours. I mean, I can have a superfood shake when I come in from my walk in the morning with my dog Vegas. Everybody hears me talk about Vegas. We do our little time. We talk to God, dog and God. You know how that works. And
Yeah,
I come
totally.
back in, and that's when I have my shake first thing. That's it. That's how I start my day, and then I get
Mhm.
ready, and I come into my studio, and I start to get ready for the show and work and blah blah blah. But without that routine and without that energy shot in the morning, I wouldn't be able to go till 2 in the afternoon and start to think
Mhm.
about maybe I'll have a little salad later. And then
Mhm.
for the transformation, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back on that 30-day program where this is what I eat only, just superfood
Mhm.
straight for the next 30 days, and don't supplement anything else, because I do want to, like you said, I want to take that opportunity to detoxify whatever that's in the air I'm breathing,
Yeah.
or in the water I've had elsewhere, or what other foods I might have been exposed to that I do try to make good choices. But you're right, it's hard to make good choices when you're not at home. You don't really have the
It is.
control. The
It is.
other thing I want to mention is you talked about, in my demographic out here, we have trouble sleeping, and
Mhm.
the apothecary is
Mhm.
phenomenal. It's that dark cherry concentrate that I put in the bottom of my glass and add, filtered water to. Wow, do I sleep like a
Mhm.
baby with that? I mean, what is the secret behind the dark cherry that gets people to sleep through the night? Anybody I know that ever uses it when they're at my house, they're like, "What was that? I slept, I dreamt,
Mhm.
I feel like $1,000,000."
Yeah, it's really special, and, high concentrated Montmorency cherries, especially when they're organically grown, they have the highest ORAC, so they've got really, really high level oxidation antioxidants inside of them, and so what they're doing is it's actually, like, scrubbing the oxidative stress clean in your body while you're sleeping, but it also has a naturally occurring melatonin. So the naturally occurring melatonin from eating cherries actually is what helps your body to regulate sleep and to get into that deep REM. And so as you start on, day 1 to day 10 and then day 11 to day 21, what you're going to start to find is like you're going to start sleeping so deep, but then you're going to wake up ready to go. Like it'll just be like bing. And that happened for me on my first 30-day program. By day 8, I think I woke up without an alarm for the first time in my life before the sun, and I was wide awake and I felt like I had struck gold. It was like being an optimist for the first time ever,
Yeah.
because I definitely have been a pessimist in the past. But I just all of a sudden it felt like Christmas morning. It was like a new day, like a really new day. Like, wow, anything feels possible. And that's what happens when your body allows itself to get clean. You start feeling lighter, you start feeling better, you start looking in the mirror and being like, whoa. And all of a sudden, at some point, and this happens to all of us during the program, where you look in the mirror and it's just like, bam, the change just hits. And you see your muscles, you see your skin tightening, and your clothes start fitting better. And all of a sudden, it's like this new hope. And that is the thing that I think for me that I always want to remind everybody is that this is not just a physical transformation. This is 100% mental, emotional, spiritual. It's
Mhm.
it can also be financial for people because you can share a referral code if you're looking to help others feel as well as you feel. And so it's a really beautiful win-win situation, from all the way from the seeds that go into the ground, from the farmers that get to our facility, to the people that take care of all of our food, and then being a drop ship to your door, and then you taking responsibility for where you want to get to in your life. This is just a full circle win across the board. Like there is nothing that I have found in any way, shape, or form about this program that can be looked at as non-positive at all.
Right. Do you think people need to like stop eating meat altogether, or is it okay to eat meat if you're, using superfoods throughout the day as part of your meals?
Absolutely. I have done 30-day programs and only
Mhm.
eaten one meal per day and had it be a meat-based meal. And that's what we're talking about doing for this first for January. Rob and I were talking about, well, what if we just went carnivore and superfoods? So we'll do the
Yeah.
whole superfoods regimen, but then when we're hungry, let's, have like a filet, and like just kind of really refining that down. And so I've done all different ways of doing this. I've drank coffee throughout my entire 30-day because I was working. I've done nothing but lemon water and the superfoods, and I've also done a system with being carnivore as well. And so I think this is where I want to invite everybody to know that as long as you get started, you're going to find your way. And this is
Yeah.
about you figuring out your life. It's not about you trying to do Raymond's life or you trying to do Anne's life. This is about
Right.
you getting your life in order and what works best for you. And
That's right.
knowing that at any time, if you start feeling kind of crappy again, that you can just get right back to it. It's on the shelf. You can just literally make a different decision and you will start to change your energy flow.
That's it. And I got to tell you, my energy flow has never been interrupted since the day I started Superfoods. 2 years later, it is still my go-to first thing every day. My husband laughs. He asks me every morning, "Do you want some eggs?" I'm like, "No, honey, I'm having my superfoods." I mean, every day is like a joke. I'm like, "Do you just ask me that just because you're trying to see if my answer is going to change?" He goes, "No, I just like to ask you because I know what the answer is going to be." So it's
That's
just,
cute.
these are the little things that we do. But, it has impacted so many people. I mean, I think, just talking about this, we've affected thousands of lives, just
Tens
through
of thousands for
or
sure.
tens of thousands of lives just through talking about this. And we know we can make a positive impact. And because we have been so duped by the public private partnership of big ag, FDA, these agencies have lied to us. I mean, the Food and Drug Association Administration is nothing but basically a license to steal and lie to the public, steal from the public and lie to the public. And we all know Obama weaponized the media. The government basically legalized the media to propaganda machines for the government. These agencies were never elected by us. These are a bunch of people that are connected back to the industrial complex from where they came, whether it was agriculture or
Mhm.
pharmaceuticals or the intelligence or military or media, whatever. Their agency counterpart has been here to do us in and mislead us and disinform us. And it's time that we get battle ready. It's time that we start taking care of our temple. God gave us this beautiful temple. He wants our brain to be in use. He wants us to use our discernment, call it the Holy Spirit, but He gave us a brain. We need to use it, but we need to make better choices so that this temple is ready to rock and roll. Because let's say we do go through a really bad rough patch. Let's say you live in the inner cities and you're now become overrun with these illegal invaders that are coming across our border by the tens of thousands every single day. Tens of thousands. Do you know 1 million are coming through the Darien Gap right now a month? 1 million through Panama, where I was with Michael Yon a few, like 3 or 4 weeks ago. This is going to be a really difficult time and a dark time for our country, but it's darkest before the dawn. And I
Yeah.
dare say that I think we're going to let this country go and give it away to the communists and to the globalists. I don't think that's going to happen, but we have a choice to make. We've got to be empowered. We have to be strong. We have to be healthy, mentally fit. And if you're not making good choices with your food and you're not looking out for your immediate family with good choices, you're not going to be ready. And so this is why I talk about prepping. This to me is prepping for the inevitable. It's prepping for the longevity of food on the shelf, like Superfoods is shelf stable, but it's also prepping for the physical fitness and endurance we're going to need to go through what I believe is going to be a hellacious 10 to 12 months. I think it's going to be rough. And I'm not the
Yeah.
only one saying it. This is not fear porn. This is
Yeah,
what it
no,
is.
I mean, here's the thing, like I've been homesteading for so long that I whatever, lights go out, internet goes out, fine. But I also live in rural Kauai. Like I have 17,000 acres in my backyard. Like I'm not really concerned about being inundated with what you guys are experiencing on the mainland. And for me personally, if I were in a city or if I were somewhere where trying to get fresh food could potentially be an issue, having a 30-day program on hand for each one of my family members is a non-negotiable. It really truly is, because it's light, because it's portable, and as long as you can get access to clean water, then you can get all of the vital nutrients that you need to survive. And not just survive, but thrive. And so if you have a bug out bag and you don't have these products in it, then you're desperately missing out on a huge opportunity to be able to really be at the top of your game. Because
Right.
usually what happens when we start to go into survival mode is that we go into a caloric restriction, and then, you have to make some pretty crazy decisions on how to actually get any kind of nutrition into your body. And if you guys have never seen the show Alone, just go watch Alone and just go learn some things. But if you're in a city, it makes it a whole lot harder to be able to hunt. You're not gonna be able to find spring water. I mean, these are questions that I've been asking myself for a very, very long time, which is what led me to live where I live and do the things that I do. I mean, I milked a goat this morning. Come on, you guys.
Right.
Like, and harvested a bunch of eggs, and I've got a huge garden full of greens, but the shelves in my kitchen are full of superfoods regardless, because I know that if anything went down, I can take care of myself. I can take care of my family. I'm going to get all the protein that I need. I'm going to get all the vitamins and minerals. I'm going to get all the clean, slow burning carbs. I'm going to get all my vegetables, all of my fruits, and I'm going to be able to take care of my gut health along the way. And if I picked up a bug, I can also take care of parasites. Or if I pick up a virus, I can take care of viruses or bacterias. And these are things that you learn over time that not everybody knows about. And I'm not going to get too geeky sciencey on you guys, but if you have the right tools, you can handle most situations. And
Yeah.
so this is where I want to empower everybody that if you just want to lose 20 pounds and look banging hot and wear a pair of skinny jeans, awesome. But if you also want to be able to prepare in a way that just in case you can't get a head of lettuce or ever have a salad again or be able to have a bite of fruit, this might be an option for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is an option. It's my option for sure. Let me ask you something, because we only have a few minutes left. What are you really? I know you said superfoods you're stocking, but I have pets, right? So I've got
Mhm.
some stuff for my animals. I have a cat and a dog. What else should I be thinking about in terms of overall prepping to make sure that we're ready in case we lose our ability to go out and get food in the store?
I think about my animals a lot too, and we have chickens, and my animals eat chicken, so that is a pretty easy solution for me personally. But I always say that try to always have on hand things that you would consume that you can also share with your pets. Obviously, cats have kind of specific diets; they get really sensitive to specific types of phenols, so obviously avoid certain strains of, like, I know lemon eucalyptus and lemongrass are in there that are very sensitive to cats. But for dogs, onions, garlic, avocados, chocolate, I think those are some of the
Bad.
top ones. Like, as long as you're avoiding foods that have those specific ingredients in them that you can also share with your pets, that's a great way to go. But it never hurts to have canned chicken and beef jerky and things along those lines, but just make sure there aren't ingredients in them that could be potentially damaging to their health.
Yeah.
Whole chickens, frozen whole chickens is always my way to go, because that literally feeds my entire family and the
Yeah.
animals, and so there's a beautiful cycle that happens when you raise laying hens. Eventually the laying hens retire into the freezer. So there's the backyard gardening, the backyard gardening is definitely something I encourage everyone to do, but it's really hard when the majority of the country's frozen right now. So
It's true.
these are things, it's like, yeah, it'd be great to have a farm, but if you live in a concrete box and there's literally no
Can't do it.
dirt anywhere to be seen, then being connected to the farm becomes almost impossible. So this is a way for you to connect to the farm. This is a way for you to support organic American farmers. This is a way for us to continue to increase the non-GMO footprint on our planet, which is absolutely the most important. And if you can't get to a local farmer or a local rancher, find them and ask them if they'll ship to you. Look for farmers that are out there that are doing community supported agriculture. Can you get a box from them on a weekly basis? Can you get freeze dried beef shipped to you? Can you get, start asking yourself these questions of how you can sustain, but you can also supplement your current diet. Because if you guys are just eating, pasta and corn chips, that you just buy at the store, it's not going to be beneficial for your health in the long run.
No. Wow, this is great stuff. Okay, we are running a special today because we're doing a relaunch. And if you guys want to join us, and we're going to be serious, I'm actually going to do every morning when I get up, at least throughout the week, I'm going to be showing you guys how my transformation is going. In other words, it's going to be me and Vegas and a shaker bottle in the morning when we come in from our morning of 5-6 miles, whatever it is we do, rain or shine. So, it's going to be Anna and the Raw, pretty much. Like, hair could be God knows what, because I don't really care when I'm out in the country. And just checking out the animals with my dog. He loves it. We're going to do our superfoods together. We're going to do a rise and shine every morning. So if you want to join us, go to vandersteelhealth.com. And there you're going to get a promo code. And you can jump right in and get up to $120 off your order. So depending on how big an order you want to do, you can save $120 if you go to vandersteelhealth.com and join us. Join me and Raven. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be 30 days of a transformation. We're going to reset it again in 60 and 90. We're going to see. I'm not here to lose more weight. What I am here is to continue to refine and detox, because the amount of toxicity in our environment, the COVID stuff, I fly a lot. I have the shedding from the other people who have taken that god-awful poisonous death shot, shedding on me, and I'm continually detoxing. So the more pure I can eat, the faster I can detox all of this out of my body and just stay ahead of the curve, because they're going to launch more stuff at us. They have more in the pipeline when it comes to their pandemics, but they've also got stuff in the pipeline when it comes to how they're going to disrupt this election. So let's get ready, let's get fit, and let's do it together. vandersteelhealth.com.